All right, everybody. It's a lovely Monday. Well, not really. It's kind of a gloomy Monday, foggy, gloomy, maybe rainy Monday. However, we have a potential pond job to go review for Dirt Perfect. We're going to go run some elevations. We're going to go determine what this customer wants. We have the laser, we have the transit stick, and a mask. Today's world, gotta have the mask. In case you have to go in somewhere, gotta wear a mask. Anyway, we're gonna get this stuff loaded up and head out, go get this reviewed. Okay, so we are out here at the location in which we need to review customers' wants and dreams and hope that we can provide that for them. So Dirt Perfect poured the ICF stem walls for that home. That homeowner, after conversations with them, would like for this area to be a pond. Now, what we have to do is determine our set point. We've got to get some elevations. We've got to determine what that set point is, meaning what's the lowest point of this property's layout that we cannot bring our water level any higher than. I've done a review. We've driven out here into their field where they're hoping to hold water. We've got a dry dam right here in the middle. After conversations with this customer, there's a lot of water that comes off of this hillside down into this ravine. This dry dam slows the water down. They've got a pipe in there that allows the water to go out slowly so none of this washes. And that connects to another dry dam, which is actually their driveway. So their wants are bring our driveway up, get rid of the dry dams and these pipes, retain water. You look over here, you can see a low spot. This is a county road. I'm betting that's going to be my set point. I'm assuming there's a culvert over there that comes underneath the road. So we're going to set the laser up right here in front of the Jeep, and we're going to take that elevation, and then we're going to go down here to the driveway. We're going to take that elevation. How much can we raise this? And over here is a current little pond that they want us to just knock out, drain, and use that levee that's there now to fill in that hole, and then their new water would just kind of run along it, hopefully. We're going to get the laser set up. We're going to start taking some elevations. All right, you know how it goes. You always forget something for every job. Well, you can see what I forgot. Anybody figure out what I forgot? We're taking elevations. See a laser hitting us in the eyeballs there. I forgot the base for the laser. So we're going to use the Jeep as our base. We've got it crutched up with a 9-volt battery there, so it holds it level, so it didn't have to do as much leveling because it wouldn't have made it. It had never been able to adjust that far. So we're going to turn on a receiver. We'll make sure that all right, we don't have the beep setting on. Now we do. We'll make sure our receiver is receiving. There we go. All right, so now we're going to take the receiver and our pole, and we're going to walk over there. We're going to get that elevation. I'm pretty certain that's going to be our low point. Once we get that elevation, we'll document that on my phone, and we're going to go down here and we're going to get the height of this, and we're going to get the height of the driveway. That way we can go back to the office, draw this thing out, do some math, figure out how much we can raise that driveway to ensure the water level. Again, I'm assuming, but I'm pretty certain doesn't get higher than this culvert that's going to be over here. So let's get going. Okay, we've got our elevations taken at our 3 points. We've got the driveway, we've got the dry dam, we've got the lowest point. It did prove out that the culvert is our set point. So now what we've got to do is go back, draw this thing out, put pencil to paper, pen to paper, whatever you want to call it, get a schematic, if you will, of what those elevations are going to allow us to do with the rise of the driveway over here. The next step after drawing the schematic, after ensuring that we've got enough room for that culvert to dump into this pond and not create a problem for the county road, we'll come back and we will take elevations again. Now this is going to be the set point for the water, which I'm going to place flags out. All right, everybody. So we're in the office today. Got some elevations, different grades. Gonna have to go back and do that again to check and confirm some things. But I've taken some notes, and now what I have to do, these are those notes. Now what I have to do is determine what the different elevations are, how much of a lake we can truly build, how much room do we have, and what are our stop points, if you will. What are our limiting points that don't allow us to get the height that we may want, or the potential customer may want. So I want to run through some notes here, do some math, figure out pitches so we can get pipe cost and things such as that. Let's get started. Got these numbers ran, crunched some numbers, got some limitations. My head hurts. No, I'm kidding. My head doesn't hurt. Well, it does, but not because I ran these numbers. We've got a drawing here. It's not the greatest drawing. I'm not an artist, but it's going to allow me to have a more in-depth conversation with Mr. Dirt Perfect to kind of help him understand what it is that we're building and why my cost is where my cost is, for him to approve the actual price point customer. So I'm gonna do my best explaining this to you here. I'm gonna have to flip this thing around a couple of times because I drew it out in the field. Now I've got to determine which is what and where is how, if that makes any sense at all, to be able to explain this to you guys. So flip the camera around here. You can see on the page, this says laser. So that is where you saw previously I had the laser set, and I took some elevations on the existing small pond, which this potential customer calls a a nest for mosquitoes. We'll just leave it at that. You see this here, these lines here is the actual current driveway that they have, which leads up to their home, which is over in here. See some yellow lines here. I'll explain those here in a minute, but you'll see this has a specific elevation In here is a current dry dam, and oh, there's their house. Ha. Anyway, there's a current dry dam in here now, and there's a pipe that slows the water down. Typical field tile, which you see only allows so much water to go out. And then there's another dry dam right here at their driveway. Over here, we have a culvert next to, I shouldn't say next to, coming out underneath of the county road. And then over here, we have an entrance into the woods, which is slightly behind their house, kind of off of this corner. It's not drawn real well. This is not to scale or anything like that. And I'm sure y'all love these shadow puppets that I'm making on the tablet here. But it's okay if we have water backing up in here. It's not okay if we have water going into this culvert, which is supposed to drain the opposite side of the county road, which is the other side of the page. Didn't need to draw that. So we took elevations. We've got all the different elevations, and we find out that this culvert is our limiting factor. We have to ensure the water level is below this culvert line. That culvert line basically allows us to build a levee out here on this side at a height of 16'3", total height gains, if you will. But our pipe, in most cases, we place 2 feet below the top of the levee so that the water line, there's 2 feet of area in which that pond or lake, whatever you want to call it, can grow before it goes over the levee, at which case there is an emergency overflow to ensure that it never goes over the levee, or it's the most safe factor to try, air quoting, try and ensure that the water never goes over the levee, which is also why we get a good understanding of the volume of water that's going to come into this, as this is a valley that comes into this field, and then this is a valley that is behind their house that comes into this field. So there's going to be water coming into that, which is also why they have a dry dam here and a dry dam at their driveway currently. So we've got to ensure that our pipe is located at the proper height to try to capture the water and evacuate it through the pipe to the bottom of the levee and ensure nothing gets washed out on the backside. The 12 feet that we're calling the top of the levee, this is going to be their driveway. So imagine this image here, over here, and curving just like their driveway does today. The pipe location isn't 100% set. I'm feeling pretty confident that it's going to be over in this corner, as this allows for natural runoff. It's where the current dry dam kind of comes over and then spills out and diffuses into a larger yard. Plenty of distance off the property line. So I'm pretty sure we're going to have it over here to ensure that there's plenty of property to diffuse that water without swamping out the neighbor's property. But now let's get to the highlighted portions. If I can keep my shadow off of this, you can see that I have here 14'3" of rise equals the water line. Max adder 16'6", which is the top, 2 feet above water. Top being this image here again, okay? And then you see here again, I highlight 14'3" water line, max water depth. Again, to recap on that, the reason that's the max water depth is if we bring this road up 16 feet, put our pipe 2 feet below that level, that puts us low enough below this culvert pipe that the water can enter into this soon-to-be new pond, hopefully, and it will not back water up into that pipe. Another way we ensure that is, again, with the emergency overflow. Our pipe is takeaway water number 1, emergency overflow takeaway water number 2. The bottom of our pipe is going to be at that safe distance below this culvert. Our emergency overflow would be the height, the elevation, should I say, of that culvert to ensure that if we hit the bottom of that pipe, okay, and I know there's not a pipe here, but pipe's a circle. If we come right here to the bottom of that pipe, you can see my finger coming in the bottom of the frame there. If our water level gets to that, it's going out an emergency overflow in some spot to ensure that we never back water up into that culvert. That's our plan. The other thing that we have to figure out is our cross dimension for pipe length. So we're going to put a 3-to-1 slope on the water side, and a 3-to-1 slope is the way I'm just kind of doing my math right now on the exposed side of the levee. So what I had to do was calculate this distance, which is 48 foot 9. I had to figure out this hypotenuse to then know I've got 12 feet of road. Add that to the 48 foot 9 inches to get over here to this point, which then I can create my triangle at a 3-to-1 slope coming over here and get that hypotenuse dimension, which ensures our pipe is sloped properly from the top inside water line of the levee to the bottom, some people call it a toe, I believe, bottom outside of the levee to get the water away from that. So that math is here. We have somewhere between 70 and 90 feet of pipe needed. The reason that I'm saying 70 to 90 feet is if the customer ends up not happy with a 3-to-1, 3-to-1 meaning we're going to run 3 feet, rise 1 foot, run 3 feet, rise 1 foot, run 3 feet, rise 1 foot. Some people don't like to mow that pitch. If they want a 4-to-1, I should still be covered at my 90 feet. It'd be close, but I should still be covered at it. So we can manipulate this pipe length as soon as we get the confirmation that A, the customer likes our price, B, they want to perform this work, and then C, what are you comfortable mowing, at which time we can confirm our pipe price and the footage needed and get the customer the final price. So that is the process that we follow when quoting a small lake job. We have some other things that we perform to confirm some items. Mr. Dirt Perfect, if you all aren't subscribed and not a follower of his channel, you should be. This is the beginning stages of how we quote jobs. Again, I don't share numbers. However, this kind of gives you that basis of the thought process that we have, how to do it right, how to do a quality job, how to ensure with this type of job that the customer is happy on the mowing side of their levee. Are they happy with 12 feet of driveway? That's kind of the minimum that we recommend. If they want to go 14 feet, obviously that's going to increase the length of pipe that we need to come through that levee. Do they want to go 18 feet? Same thing, same concept. It requires more dirt. We've already, if you look back at the drawing or print that I've made, there's a large area that we can actually bring dirt from to bring it into this levee. We also dug, if you go over to Captain Kleeman's channel, you will see where he dug 4 test holes to ensure that we have good dirt. And where I flick those pages is kind of an estimation of where he dug those test holes. You'll be able to see how we dug the test holes. We looked at the quality of dirt. Do we have good dirt that is syllable? That's a weird one. We are checking the quality of dirt to make sure that it can hold water. That's the better way to say that. Anyway, once we confirmed all of that, we told the customer we feel like we can build a lake here. Obviously, there is never a guarantee with a lake. The reason there's never a guarantee with a lake is because there's so many outliers. We don't have a crystal ball. We are not certain what is under that ground. Once we start pushing dirt, we might find a cavern. We dug 4 test holes with a 4-foot bucket, 12 foot deep. We found good dirt, but if there's a cavern anywhere in there, and we've got 90% of the levee pushed up, and on that last 10% push, tracking that dirt down to that levee, we hit that cavern and there's a 3-foot hole in it, well, there's nothing we can do about that. Obviously, we would back up and have conversations with the customer to determine if they want to stop at that point, finish the levee, which is an elevated driveway basically. Ensure that the water doesn't get trapped in there. Otherwise, they're going to have a pond, no pond, pond, no pond kind of thing. If you watch Dirt Perfect's channel, that's kind of the situation that I'm in. Pond, no pond, pond, no pond. However, we're going to fix that one of these days. I'm going to stay optimistic about it. And I'm going to show you all a video one of these days. I don't know if that's year 2020. I don't know if that's year 2021. I don't know if that's year 2022. But I'm going to show you guys a video of my pond holding water. I'm pretty confident in that. Mr. Dirt Perfect isn't so optimistic. However, that's okay that we have a difference of opinion. I'm going to show you guys the last process that we do to confirm the customer's happiness with what our assumptions are. All right, we got the drawing made. We got all the math done for having a good understanding of what we're going to do with the driveway down here. I believe we're going to raise this thing 14 feet. We'll make it 12 feet wide. Y'all saw that previously. So what you see in my hands now are some flags. Yes, there's white and orange. Do I wish the store would have had blue? Yeah, it would have been great to mark the water line of this potential pond with a blue flag, but that's okay. They didn't have it. The purpose of this is to get the homeowner a good understanding as to where their water line is going to be. Now again, once we get in here with equipment and we start hogging out this dirt, finding the good dirt, pushing off topsoil, getting the dirt we want for the keyway and the levee, separating it, pushing over the field dirt, all that good stuff, the appearance of this field is going to change. For example, that dry dam right over there, with the way everything worked out, we don't have to take that out. However, we know there is a drainage tile that goes underneath of that driveway. So we've got to find that drainage tile and we have to shut it off because we don't ever want this thing to leak again. Another keynote is this is spoil bank, spoil ground, if you will, this old coal mine ground. So it's really hard to guarantee that this pond's going to hold water. But if you do go over to Captain Kleeman's YouTube channel, you can actually see there's 4. Right there's one, right there's one, right here at the base of this hill is one, and there's another one. Those dirt spots, we actually, when we were here pouring this crawl space, we made some test holes. We found some good dirt in regards to building a levee. What we don't know, once we get all this dirt out of here, pushed over there, the driveway's where it needs to be, we've got all the clay lined onto the levee, we're saying we're complete with this job. We don't know what this ground's going to do once water starts retaining in here. That's a lot of pressure. Water is very powerful. So as that thing starts to build up in here, what's the ground do? We don't know. That dry dam right over there is not going to slow down the water flow anymore. The water flow is going to come all the way down, and it's going to hit our levee, and then it's just going to start stacking up in there. So if we have a really hard rain, we don't know what that's going to wash out on the upper side until it gets to a point to where that isn't washing out anymore. Could it wash out a cavern? Yeah, it's coal mine ground. So we're going to get this process. This is the last process prior to the final conversation with the customer, in which I will advise them what we believe we can build this pond for. Let's get going. All right, so I wanted to explain for a minute where I'm at in this process. Again, I'm flagging off the water line. Where you see the actual top of the flags, that little actual flag part there, is just marking a location. It's actually the bottom of the flag is where the water line truly is. So if you look out across there, you can see an orange flag right there. You cannot see the orange flag that's here below the culvert. And you see that flag, and then there's one right there to the right of that tall grass. And then if you come around, you'll pick out the other orange one right there. Come a little further, another orange one. Come a little further, right across dry dam, another orange one. Go a little further, another orange one. Go a little further, another orange one, another orange one, white one, white one. Now the reason that I started putting these closer together than I did these back here is because that is actually a good signifier for us as to where this levee is going to hit. Now again, this marks the water line. It does not mark top of levee. We are going to stay the proper distance from that water line away from the top of that levee. You notice my hand went up. So the top of the levee is always going to be higher than the actual water line. So if you were to get yourself a visual, you see the white door on the shed over there. To the left of it, you've got the white flags. That last white flag is right at the edge of the driveway, okay? So come uphill, almost in between the shed, the porta crapper over there, almost right in between those 2 points, white flag and porta crapper. That's about where that levee's gonna hit. And then it will just continue, and that's where you have to visualize it. It's going to continue, and then you see the bank start to pick up over here, and then it's going to hit somewhere over in here. So the next step of this process is we're going to go down this left-hand side of the potential pond and mark this side here so the homeowner can get a visual of both sides. Is that what they were dreaming up? Is that what their hopes were? If it isn't, let's have a conversation. If it is, do you like my price? If you like my price, well, let's go to work. So we're going to mark out this left-hand side. Let's get ready for some more. All right, guys, I know some of those flags are hard to see, but we've got this thing marked all the way off. See our flag over there below the driveway? It's another flag just over this hillside here. You can't hardly see it, and then they run right down along this edge here, which is basically just a little bit above this this dry dam here. So as you go back through here, you can see the orange flags. There's one right there, and they turn, come along that hillside, go along that hillside there. So we've got this flagged off. We will wait for the homeowner. We'll let them know. We won't wait for them. We'll let them know that we got it flagged off. And we'll wait for the homeowner to give us a call, get them a good understanding of what the flags mean, give them that visual, try to get them a mental picture of how that levee is going to end up, and hope that they like everything they hear, including the price. Assuming all that happens, the next step for you all would be to go over to Dirt Perfect's channel and watch the actual work being performed. This is the quote process. This is what we provide for our customers so that they have the best understanding we can give them as to what we're going to do for them and why the price is the way the price is. So, with all that being said, as always, like, comment. If you guys do this a different way and we can learn from that, please put it in the comments, and then subscribe. We need more subscribers, we need more likes, we need more comments, we need more interaction. We try to give you guys as much details as we can to keep you abreast to what's going on. So, stay tuned for the next job.